Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy 3Li, and welcome to Boss Rush Island 1. Today we're up against Dreadbloon, using Benjamin as our hero. Start off with a 202 Spike Factory in this placement about, and set the target so that it can just barely not touch the tracks, so that it can hit Dreadbloon only, and not actually pop these balloons. You see all these red balloons going by? That's a good sign. We're going to upgrade it to Spike Balls as soon as humanly possible. And then we're going to be placing down Ben, also pretty quick, but we got some time. I like to slow down the game and then speed it up because I'm impatient, but also, the game works a lot better if you place everything and do all your upgrades slowed down. So, you can see here I'm slowing it down, and now we're buying the upgrade and then speeding it up. But, you guys can keep it in slow mode if you want the whole time. We're getting 154 pops. You can do much higher if you're willing to use Portable Lakes and if you're a little smarter than I was this run, but whatever. After we get up the second spiked balls, we're going to go for a 310 Mermonkey, who is going to, of course, be able to help pop all these balloons. And then on close targeting in this placement, we're going to start going for a 103 and then 104 Alchemist, as well as targeting these spiked balls so that they're still hitting the boss. Now we're going to go for a third one, ideally in range of this Mermonkey. However, if you place the Mermonkey in a different spot, it doesn't really matter too much. It's a 5% buff. And then once we're at $4,000, we sell the furthest away one for a Spiked Mines, and now we're going for one more Spike Factory. Last one, I swear. It was going to be a 302 again, and then once we're at $4,000 again, we sell the furthest one, and we can get it up to a Spiked Mines. Or you can be slow like me and wait for $7,000. It doesn't have to be too exact. This is a very easy boss rush. You guys can be very far behind and, not do any boat farming. I do boat farming here. You guys can skip all of that if you just want 120 pops. It's really chill. But yeah, up next we're going to go for a Operation Dartstorm. And once we're at 30 pops, you want to wait a little bit till you're about $16,000, maybe a little bit more if you are missing monkey knowledge, and then you sell your 3 towers in exchange for the Sky Shredder, who you're going to put on figure 8. Then we're going to go for another 104 Alchemist in the top left corner. You can't really see it, it's right under the lives amount. And then we're going to go for a Merchantman, who we upgrade to a Trade Empire. Now again, you guys can fully skip out on boat farming, because it is kind of annoying, right? You're placing 20 boats, and it's just slow and tedious. You guys can fully skip out on boat farming and still get 120, even 140, depending on just how well you are, how much monkey knowledge you have. But yeah, once we get up to Trade Empire, we're just going to be spamming down a bunch of 003 boats, and I place them in kind of a funny way just because I really want to get 9 boats inside of here, and I actually do succeed, but if you get 8, you can still get just as high of a pop score. You can actually do higher. I'm going to be talking at the end about how you can improve this score because quite frankly, I was a good bit behind. Now, if you really want to improve your score, right now you can place down 3 of those little powered ponds, but I feel like 3 is too much to use in a video, so I decided against that. But yeah, after you get up your 9, or I guess 20 if you are really wanting to just spend all your monkey money boats, we're going to go for a Golden Justice. This guy should be coming up around 50 pops. You can see I've spent a little bit of money on a couple 004 boats, but if you want to be less risky, you can just go straight for the Golden Justice, and it's going to be a 250. And we can set it on strong targeting for now. First, it'll of course be hitting these guys a little bit, but strong it'll be hitting the rock balloons, so you can't really win them all. But eventually things will clear up pretty quickly. Right now it's all clear, and so you can set your 2 Desperado Monkeys to first targeting instead. Right here I switch it, and the reason we have the second one up is to use the Mark to Pop ability, because it doubles damage from Desperado Monkeys, and then later it'll be used to get full uptime on the extra range. We're then going to be going for a Lord of the Abyss and more boat spam. You don't have to place it too precisely, however, you still want to place it, you place it as far away as possible, and then you place one close to the boat that you just placed. I hope that makes sense. You guys can watch the video. But we want to spam down 20 003s as soon as we physically can. The faster you get them up, the more money you have, which just makes the whole run a little bit easier. If this video is helping you out, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and use code YOBOY, that's YOBOI, in the BTD6 store. It really helps me out. It actually does make a surprising bit of money. You know, it's pretty fun. It gives me a lot of dopamine when I see number go up. I mean, come on. But yeah, at least leave a like and subscribe. You know, I know you guys want to support ISAB or Macam Rules. That's who I have my code in for, is Macam Rules. I should probably switch it to my own now that I think about it. But anyways, yeah. Once you have all 20 boats down, we're going to be upgrading them all to flavored trades. These guys are, of course, very delicious and will make a ton of money. I've decided from here on out to speed up the video to 1.5 times speed, so that's why the video might seem more sped up. It's because I sped it up. But yeah, you want to use this whole time, I forgot to mention it, but the Desperado ability, the extra range thing, you're going to want to be using so that the Desperado can hit the boss from all the way over here. I hope you noticed it, but pretty much, you know, you want to be using one ability, and then when that is halfway through its cooldown, use the other. So you can see whenever I use an ability, there's one who's halfway up and ready. Hope that makes some sense. But yeah, once we're at, we place down a Spectre, and once we're at 40k, we can sell the Sky Shredder in order to get it up to a Flying Fortress. 205 is the best cross path, and we just stick that bad boy on Wing Monkey. And now once we're at 80 pops, which is the Immunoprimary phase, we get down a 502 Super Mind, who is going to be able to absolutely demolish this primary immune phase, which will allow us to get down our first Paragon. Of course, the Boomerang Paragon is who we're going for. Super powerful, and actually we have to wait till I think about 95 pops. It's more based off of the amount of money you have. But yeah, we sell our Flying Fortress as it can no longer damage the boss, and we're going to want to be a little bit safe here. You know, DDTs look kind of scary, but really this Supermind should be able to demolish it, especially on this map with a massive blast radius. But yeah, get down your last tier 5 Boomerang Monkey. And once you are at about 355k is the safest number. I waited till 350, which led to a little bit of a risk, but whatever. 355k, you sell your Super Minds, and then get down a Degree 1 Boomerang Paragon. This guy is going to be able to demolish the boss, and if you just want 120 pops, you can leave it here. However, I'd still recommend you go further. You can get 130 if you then sell it for a Boat Paragon, and honestly just place the Boat Paragon in the main pool over there. But we are not going to be doing that. We want to get even higher, so we're going to start building up Druids, specifically the Super Storm. Put it on last. You know, he's gonna be able to handle some stuff. Then we go for an Avatar of Wrath here and use our last tower slot on Pop Lust, and then we sell the Boomerang Paragon. Once we're at 120 pops, get down another Pop Lust, and then go for a Druidagon. If you want to here, this is where you could stop yourself at 140 pops instead by just leaving it the entire time in this powered up state. But what I do instead is I use the powered up state to boost all the way to 130 ASAP, and then I power it down, you know, use that ability again. If you didn't know, the ability makes it so that it deals a ton of damage. However, it will sap your ability to make any money. So yeah, I do that, and then I sell my boats, and I get up a Glaive Dominus, also Degree 1, and this guy is pretty much just going to be able to get us past the Magic Immune phase, which is going to happen very soon. So yeah, we just let our Druidgon kind of destroy the boss pretty slowly. You know, it's not fully worth it to get a Druidgon unless it's a special circumstance like this, if you're not using the Rage ability. But yeah, we power it down here once we're at 140 pops, because then it is immune to the any damage done by the Druidgon, which means, you know, Druidgon is of course not that useful. And we're leaving it around here some because, I mean, technically it does some damage, but what you should do instead of leaving it around is quickly as possible go for a Boatgon. I realized that kind of late here, and I start going for the Boatgon. You just need to get the other two tier 5s, put them on last targeting. I'm not too sure if last or close is better, because, you know, of course close is going to be actually targeting the boss, but whatever. You can sell both your Paragons in exchange for the Boatgon and just max out that Cash Slider. It's the only one we use Cash Slider on, and I'm completely sure there's some way to get a much higher score. I'm actually going to be going for it. I think we can easily get to 170s, even 180, by using the boats, or not the boats, the pawns. But yeah, I just wanted to get you guys a nice little video here. 154 pops, that's pretty damn good. If you guys are ahead of me, you can go for another Druid Gon. I wish you'd sell the Boat Gon for, of course, but I just decided, let's leave it like this, alright? Good enough. Hope this video helped you out. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out. Bye.